Oh man, how great is this? If it ain't my old pal.
So picture this. It's 1994, you're sipping a Capri Sun, wearing your favorite windbreaker, and trying to beat the water level in Donkey Kong Country without throwing the controller across the room. The smell of Blockbuster carpet is in the air, and your biggest decision today is whether or not to rent Pulp Fiction or Ace Ventura. Spoiler, your parents won't let you rent either, but you could try anyway, right? Because it's 1994, and rebellion means wearing a backwards hat and quoting Jim Carrey like it's a full-time job. The movies were awesome too. Forrest Gump ran so we could walk. Literally, it turned like a box of chocolates into a universal life philosophy. And Pulp Fiction? That movie wasn't even a film. It was a cinematic uppercut to the face. You had no clue what was going on, but it felt cool, like vinyl and vibes cool. Meanwhile, Getting Even with Dad tried to convince us Macaulay Culkin could reform a criminal dad with his 10-year-old wisdom. And we said, yep, that makes sense. And then there's Little Giants, the underdog anthem for every kid who didn't make the A-team. That one taught us that the annexation of Puerto Rico is a perfectly legal football play. You also had Ace Ventura redefining the word weird, with Dumb and Dumber and The Mask hot on its heels, making 1994 peak Jim Carrey. That man could talk out of his butt and still win America over. But TV was wild. Weird Science brought the concept of building your dream girl out of a floppy disk to the small screen and somehow made it wholesome. My So-Called Life was the gritty emotional roller coaster your older sister cried about while writing in her glitter gel diary. And The Secret World of Alex Mack gave every kid hope that maybe, just maybe, getting doused in weird chemical goo might give us powers instead of a trip to the ER. At the Headbangers Ball, looking like he just crawled out of a haunted Hot Topic, slurring wisdom like a rock and roll Yoda who hadn't slept since the 80s.
I got off the road and I sat down and started eating candy and chocolate and getting fat and getting loud.
Collecting pogs? Do you know what pogs are?
What's a pog?
Never mind. I talked about it earlier. Nobody in the West Coast, your kids don't play with pogs.
What the hell is a pog?
They're these little cardboard things that it's a game.
The Cowboys 1994 gave us the Dodge Neon, which looked like it was smiling at you while promising 33 miles per gallon and a dream. It was the car version of Lisa Frank stickers, bright, cheap, and weirdly lovable. Donkey Kong Country dropped like a pixelated thunderclap.
But I think Donkey Kong is the best game ever.
Donkey Kong sucks.
You know something? You suck.
Tell you what, you better reserve this game before November 21st, because that's when it comes out in the stores.
Showing us what 3D-ish graphics could look like on a Super Nintendo. The soundtrack alone could raise the dead. Meanwhile, Netscape Navigator crawled onto the scene and whispered to us, hey, you want to try the internet? And boom, you're downloading an image of Pamela Anderson that takes 14 minutes to load. And the George Foreman grill also came out. That man punched people for a living. Then gave us a countertop meat wizard. It made chicken taste like ambition and had grill marks so perfectly they felt illegal. Culturally, 1994 was it. You had baggy jeans, chain wallets, starter jackets, and beepers, all happening at the same time. Girls were rocking sunflower dresses, chunky sandals, and lip liner darker than their future ex's soul. You could rollerblade to a payphone, call your crush collect, and ask their mom if they were home. If that's not romance, I don't know what is. Toys were popping off too. You had GAC and creepy crawlers, and pogs were peaking. That was our version of crypto. You didn't understand how it worked, but you knew you had to collect more of them. And remember those Magic Eye books? You'd go cross-eyed at the mall kiosk trying to find a 3D dolphin that may or may not exist. But what made 1994 the best year ever wasn't just the content. It was the feeling. It was the freedom without a phone.
Hey man, I got some chicks, man! Tex got some chicks?
It was waiting a week for your favorite show and feeling rewarded.
Uh-oh. Storms are brewing.
It was walking into a Pizza Hut and reading a comic book while your pan pizza arrived in a red plastic cup haze. It was messy, weird, and absolutely magical. So if you're ever wondering why everyone from that era is still obsessed with 1994, it's not just nostalgia. It's because that year actually delivered. Every TV show, movie, toy, and awkward flirtation in a mall food court just hit differently. 1994 didn't try to be the best year. It just was.
No.
I'm all right. I'm fine.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!